Welcome back to the series where we ask Stardew Valley content creators questions to see if they all think the same. If you haven't seen the previous video, you should go watch it. A lot of good questions and a lot of good answers. If you have though, let's get started with this one. We, as the player, should be able to cause a divorce between Robin and Demetrius so that we can marry Robin. 1, 2, 3, go. All right, let's start with Wickedy.
Okay, so here's the thing. I love Robin, and I would so marry that beautiful redheaded woman with the strong axe. I really would, but I wouldn't break them up specifically for me to marry them. I would break them up because I think they are not a good match. That is all.
Let's jump over to the other side real quick. Shawnee.
Okay, this is something that everybody jokes about, but if this was actually the game, it would be like...
I'm talking like a full serious, like it would be in the game.
If this is actually in the game, it'd be like Concerned Ape was like, let some incel take the reins. Like, that would be so fucking weird. It's just so antithetical to everything that Stardew Valley is about. It would be...
I just feel like, in general, good advice. Just like, don't try to divorce people, you know? It's like, if it happens, it happens. But I don't want to be the catalyst for that, like, especially when I'm just trying to farm and, like, make Grandpa proud. I don't want to, like, have him looking down on me. Be like, oh, shit, what's she doing? You know?
Let's jump over to Argon. So you agree?
I mean,
I
agree that it should be a theoretical option. I also agree that it's weird. Yeah, no, it's definitely something that I would not do, and I would not condone anyone to do. I think that's absolutely true. But I think Stardew being a game of options is part of what people like about it. Johnny's got a good point where maybe that specific option doesn't gel very well with like the themes of Stardew and like the world as a whole. But I don't know, it's still not enough to sway me, where I feel like if that would heighten someone's play experience, then who am I to judge? I mean, I'm gonna judge them, but I'm not gonna if they want to do that, then like I think it should be allowed at the very least.
I see. And your opinion? Very well said. On a more serious question note, more serious than the previous. Certain characters, like Shane and Haley, start out abrasive and then warm up to you later. This makes up for how they treat you at the start.
Oh.
Give you a second for that one.
Yeah.
All right. 1, 2, 3, go. Argon, notorious Haley lover.
Yeah, I know. I thought long and hard about it.
All right, let's start with you then.
Okay. Like you said, I'm a noted Haley lover. She's my go-to. And a big part of what I like about her is that she has that character arc where she starts off being like, you literally talk to her and she's like, you get away from me, your shoes are ugly and I hate your face. And then she grows from that, and it's nice to see. That being said, does that make it okay that like she was treating you that way in the first place? And in my heart of hearts, I don't think it does. I forgive her for like treating me like that, and I feel like she, like, when she gets to the end of her arc, is more she understands that was like a bad thing to be doing. Is it okay for her to have done that? No, because that's just not being a good like human being. I can forgive her, but it's still not okay in the first place.
And on the main disagree side, now we have Charlie and Wickedy. Charlie, what do you think?
I think just in general, yeah, I agree with a lot of what Argon said. And I think in real life, if somebody were to treat you that way, like you could have sympathy for the situation they're in, or you could understand why they act that way, but that doesn't mean that you should be okay with it, or even in some cases like forgive it if it's negatively impacting your mental health. If my little character was a real person, it's like, yeah, I can understand where they're coming from. Like, as you get to know them, you learn more about like the stuff they've had to go through and the stuff that they struggle with. But I also think like, yeah, like at the end of the day, like that's just not okay to treat people that way. And like, if that was a real person, I wouldn't be like, oh, that's okay that you told me I was ugly and that I should never talk to you again. And like, I would obviously just be like, no, thank you. So I think I just disagree.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of agree with Argon to an extent. I think that like the problem with the question is just like the way it was phrased. Like make up for is like a weird way of phrasing it. You know what I mean? I don't know if it fully like makes up for it, but like I am okay with their growth, especially when what they did was like not nice, but it wasn't like particularly heinous. You know what I mean? Like they're just kind of like rude, and then I feel as though they apologize for that. You know, it's not like they just like go on with their lives and become a good person. They like tell you that they're sorry and stuff like that. And I like that there's room for growth, but like that's why I'm on like the slight agree side, where I'm like, yes, I forgive them, but like I don't think it makes up. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't say it makes up for, even though it is like okay to forgive.
Do they apologize? I don't remember. I don't think they do.
There's a couple instances, I think particularly with Shane, where there is a moment where he's like, I'm sorry, I was rude to you or something like that. I don't remember
Yeah,
exactly.
Shane does. I don't think Haley does.
Of
Okay,
course
okay.
Haley
Good to
does
know.
it. Love her, but
There is one specific interaction with George where he is homophobic initially, and then he says that he was wrong for
Let
that.
me be
before-
clear.
Yeah.
Or after.
Remember that one? What the heck?
Oh,
Hi, Argon.
destroyed.
Off the
Thanos snapped.
Homophobic George was too much for me.
Yeah, with me is like I've been in a lot of toxic relationships, and I don't like the interactions that you have with both Shane and Haley at the beginning. That doesn't mean that how their growth isn't valid and that it isn't wonderful, but it shouldn't be up to me and my character to make that growth happen. And that is what bothers me so much. Is like I want you to grow on your own. It's not my responsibility for you to be a good person and treat people right. That's you know what? I don't know. I just when I see that kind of like interaction, I just never talk to them again unless I absolutely have to, because I'm going for perfection. You know what? That's the way it is. So that's the way it is for me.
Stardew Valley could use a sequel.
Mm.
3, 2, 1, go. Are we staying in neutral? Or are we thinking?
Stay neutral.
All right. Let's go with neutral first. Wickedy.
You know what? I think that I love Stardew Valley. It's definitely one of my top games. I've spent I don't even want to tell you how many hours into this game, but I could see this as a sequel, yes, but I'm also really happy with it as a standalone game. I'm happy with the expansions that we've had or the updates that we've had. I'm really happy with that kind of being the expansion of the game. I could see it go either way, and I'd be fine with either.
I guess like I just don't see what could be put into a sequel that would make it fundamentally distinct from what we have now that would warrant like a whole other game. And I mean, like I would be open to being pleasantly surprised, I guess, but I also think like it's a very similar thing. Like I really love Stardew Valley, obviously, or else I wouldn't make videos on it, but I also just think I don't want it to be like a milking sort of situation. I don't want it to be like just trying to make a sequel to make a sequel. Like I would want there to be some sort of like fundamental reason why that would work instead of just trying to capitalize on it or do something like that. And yeah.
And Shawnee on the strongly disagree side.
Yeah, I would say if there needed to be a Stardew Valley sequel, it would have like already happened. You know what I mean? Like games with like updates like this usually don't require a sequel. Something like Terraria, where they tried to make a sequel and then they were just like, we would rather just like put all of our energy into like the original game. You know what I mean? Like as opposed to just like endlessly putting stuff into Stardew. Like I don't really think that Concerned Ape wants to make like an expansion of Stardew, like of that same universe. And if like anything, like Haunt Chocolatier would be like the closest thing to that. But like I just don't think it's like a necessity.
Okay. And Argon moved from neutral to slightly disagree.
I did, yeah. I mean, originally I thought if there was a sequel, it's like, does it need one? No. Would I be happy to see one? Sure. So I was like neutral, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized, number one, if Haunted Chocolatier wasn't a thing, and like Stardew Valley 2 got announced tomorrow, how would I feel about that? I'd be like mildly disappointed, maybe is this the way to put it. Like I'd still be excited for it and I'd still want to like try it out, but I do think that like Stardew as it stands alone very well as its own game. And I think Haunted Chocolatier is going to be a great way to sort of like keep that same vibe, but transport it to a different setting. In like a straight sequel to Stardew Valley, I think that would be harder to do. I feel like it would just feel like too much more of the same. And the fact that like the modding scene is still so vibrant, like there's still so much expansion happening there, like you can kind of make your own experience here. Like I feel like it really doesn't need a sequel. Like I would still play it, and I'd still be happy to see it if that's the way that that things fell, but not on my wish list.
Maybe the children grow up in the sequel and they take over your farm and then they just destroy everything and turn it to Joja. Have you thought about that? I mean, I'll make it into a mod if you really want.
There is a right and wrong way to play Stardew Valley. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, he's dancing. He's dancing.
Yeah,
Oh.
cause some discord.
Oh,
Okay.
All right. Do we want to go with Goliath first and then David, or?
I mean, I can go first, but it's not like particularly complex. I just think that, like, with a single player game, you should be able to play it however you want. Though I will say that, like, when you introduce the multiplayer aspect of things, you can very much be playing in a way that is like not aiding to other people. Does that make sense? Like, it's like actively impeding their experience, and like you can be taking the game like way more seriously than somebody else on the farm, or like you can be like trying to do one way and then somebody else is doing it another way, and can completely like taint that experience for you. You know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, okay, like this person's just being rude, or like whatever it might be. Like, I think in single player, like you can just basically, like, the whole point of the game is you're supposed to be able to enjoy it however you want. But I think that multiplayer aspect of it like really opens up a lot of avenues for like people to just like not enjoy it in a nice and fun way with the people that they're with.
Let's jump over to Argon on Strongly Disagree.
I mean, I played a version of this game where I could only sell fiber to make money, and that didn't feel wrong to me. So like, at what point? No, I do not think like there's a valid argument to be made. Like, if you're in a multiplayer setting, yeah, you should meet like the other players on the same level that you like all collectively agreed with. But I think that's not something that necessarily is to do with the way you play Stardew, as more as the way you choose who you're playing Stardew with. Like, if you just want to do like a casual farm with your friends, then great, and I think you should all like sort of contribute to that and do that way. But if you all get together and decide, hey, do you all want to sell only fiber and get a golden clock together, then it'd be like, you know what? Maybe it's not everyone's jam, but it's someone's jam, and I think that's important to recognize. And I think it's a valuable thing. Stardew is so open-ended. There's so many possibilities. I don't think there could be a wrong way to play it.
I don't think there's actually a wrong way to play Stardew Valley. There are so many different ways that you can play. You could be like a decorator. You could get into like the relationships. You could get into the farming and never touch the mines ever, or whatever. You know, you can do what you want within the parameters of the game. To me, the only wrong way to play is to not play at all. So, yeah, that's it.
Hey.
banger.
I mean, if it's not for you, it's not for you. But at least, you know, whatever. I'm maybe biased a little bit, just a little bit.
All right, Charlie, anything to add on top of that?
I think this is kind of a hot take, but I don't think there's a wrong way to play any game. Like, I think that's kind of the whole premise of my channel is like, I like to play things from a different perspective. Like, if I want to play Stardew Valley and not buy things, and like that means I don't have a backpack upgrade, then like sue me. I don't want to do it. Like, if I want to play Breath of the Wild and I want to just take pictures of stuff, then like let me live my life, you know? I think like everybody finds different things in games, and like Stardew Valley included, like fun or exciting or interesting. And I think that like, I don't know, you shouldn't be discouraged for wanting to play something in a different way, or you shouldn't be like told you're not a true gamer or something. It's like you can play what you want, however you want, and I think that that's the point of games. And like, I don't know, that's just how it is.
Wickedy, anything to change there, or just feel like you more agree with that?
I was just being dramatic by being on that other line.
Having a baby in Stardew Valley should have a purpose. 3, 2, 1, go. Love that. Oh my god, the immediate split.
Okay.
Let's start with Charlie on the slightly disagree.
I'm gonna say something controversial. Do
Good.
real kids have a purpose? Like, do you like birth a
What?
child
What
to
kind,
like?
what kind of answer is that? What?
As a mother, let
Well-
me tell you the answer to that.
Well, like, hear me out. It's like you have a child to like make as like it's like it makes you feel good. It like gives you like happiness and it gives you joy to have brought something into the world and to watch someone grow and like figure out who they are, and it's like an enriching experience. But like you don't have a kid to be like, okay, now you're gonna do the dishes. Like I don't think that, like, I think that having a kid in Stardew is like exciting enough for me because I'm just like, oh my gosh, I have a little kid, and like, come on, you could put hats on them. Like, is that not a purpose? But I think like I don't think that I'm not disappointed that they're not helping out on the farm. It's like my disappointment would stem from the fact that they're not as much of an individual as I want them to be. But like, I don't think that they need a purpose, at least just to me. I don't know.
Shawnee on the strongly agree side.
Yeah, I would just say that the children in Stardew Valley are currently like nothing burgers. There's nothing to them. They don't bring joy. They don't have any mechanical purpose. And even if they didn't end up having a mechanical purpose, there should be at least like some reason to have them. Like literally nobody in the game even interacts with them. Like your spouse, nobody in the town. Like they're just literally like little sprites that you keep captive in your house. They're weird, and it's like they just weren't ever fully fleshed out, and they have no real, not only mechanical purpose, but like story-based purpose at all. It doesn't progress your relationship. You don't garner a relationship with the children. They're just like literally just like moving hat racks. They're just like, they need a complete overhaul if they're to stay in the game. And it's why you see so many people just not have children at all.
Wickedy, the only parent of all of us, directly in the middle.
I refuse to comment on the purpose of my own children. They're not watching, but they're busy playing Minecraft or something. I don't know. But as for the children in Stardew, I do believe that they have a purpose, and I don't think they really need any more purpose than what they have. Their purpose is to grow up into walking hat racks, so it is wonderful. And also alarm clocks, you know, they're terrifying. They're always there waking you up in the morning. They're always there keeping you awake at night. They have a purpose, it just depends on how you look at it. So yeah, I mean, and I think actually having kids is like beneficial towards your grandpa candles or something like that. But like,
Oh.
I believe that's true,
I don't
actually.
know.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's not.
We live in a society where everything has to have value, and every single moment of every single day, you have to be doing something productive, and you have to have some kind of purpose or of some kind, one way or another.
I want you to know that I'm putting the Russian national anthem over this speech.
I wouldn't have it any other way, because it's totally fine if something, whether it be the kids or anything else in the game, does not have a purpose. And like I think to Wickedy's point, they do have a purpose. They have some intrinsic value as like a hat rack, or maybe most people kind of see them as like, as Shawnee said, like nothing burgers. Like there's like not really any actual point to having them there. There's guaranteed to be some people out there who just like love the idea of having a little family unit in Stardew, and like
Me.
yeah.
I
And
love it.
Is that not purpose enough? Now, if we're talking about Holly, then it's a different story.
Last question. Penny is the worst character in the game. 3, 2, 1, go. Wow, look at that. That's crazy that they all agreed on that last one. Anyway, that's all the questions I have for today. If you would like to see more of this, please let me know. It was so fun to make. It felt like I was really breaking out of the mold of Stardew Valley content, you know, so I'd be more than happy to make some more. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next one, and good night.
Penny's the best ginger in the game. No, I didn't forget about Leia.
oh my God.
Now hold
Whoa.
on.
Say that. You did not
Oh
just-
my god!
I'm gonna go ahead and
What?
walk over to the
Sandy?
disagree one
Seriously?
for that. Oof,
Oh,
dude.
I did forget about Sandy. I stand by my statement.
Ooh,
Oh,
even worse.
no.